Hi, Pastor Giovanni here. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a passage from the book of Job, chapter 38, beginning at verse 4 and going through verse 18. You'll notice right away, beginning at verse 4, we have a question, and then we're going to be reading a line of questioning. And these questions are, in many ways, unanswerable questions, questions that make us ponder our existence and our place in the world. What we'll notice is these questions are coming from our Creator God down to us humans. Well, in the book of Job, it's specifically God questioning Job. So these questions are humbling. They're humbling Job, forcing him to look deeper at the world around him, things we witness every day, the sea, the sky, the land, and to think. This leads us to what is sometimes called natural revelation, uh, because these things point us to God. God is showing us our limits of knowledge, our limits of life and years in this earth. And when pondering the wonders of creation, we look to God with a reverent wonder, because we cannot understand all the purposes of God. And specifically in the case of Job, he had a man of great suffering. And us, we can suffer. As humans, we suffer. And this may lead us to question God, to question his purpose, to question his presence. We may ask, where is God in the midst of this trial? Where is God in my suffering? Why does God allow this to happen? We seek meaning in the suffering. So read these questions. You're going to start to see that God is God and we are humans. He is creator. We are creation. Um, let's begin. And we begin with a kind of ironic question. You'll see these questions are often ironic. In verse 4, it says, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand." So in this question, the creator, our creator God, takes us back to the beginning, to the creation. And by way of questioning Job, gets Job to acknowledge that, where were you? Job can't really answer that. Well, he knows he was not present. He was not alive yet. Cannot give like a specific answer other than, I wasn't there. We continue. Verse 5. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? So the creator here is pictured as a divine architect, designing, and he says, surely you know, and again, in an ironic way, because Job does not know. Verse 6. On what were its footings set, or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together, and all the angels shouted for joy. Who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and wrapped it in thick darkness, when I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place, when I said, this far you may come and no farther. Here is where your proud waves halt. So we pictured the ocean there and its waves, and here the ocean comes, and we have kind of scientific answers to these questions about gravity and the moon. But God is here showing Job that he set these things in place, that it was his grand design, and Job was not involved in it. He had no role in the act of creation. And this is humbling. And this leads us to reverent worship. Verse 12. Have you ever given orders to the morning, or shown the dawn its place, that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it? Again, just a humbling passage, just day by day, how creation operates. Verse 14. The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. The wicked are denied their light, and their upraised arm is broken. Something about the constellations there is often said by commentators. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea, or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Have you seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Have you comprehended the vast expanses of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. I think so. Very poetic language, but very real language, because this is our world. And these are questions that humans, through our efforts, through our acquired knowledge, have and adventure and exploration have tried to answer, but still have not answered. So even today, these are humbling questions. This passage shows us that our Creator is sovereign over all creation. That this where we live, this was all His idea, and I think this passage we need to spend some time with these questions. Maybe get outside, get out into nature, get out into your backyard or wherever you can see the sky, and look at the world around you. If you can see the grass or the land or the water, consider these questions. Take them with you and hear God asking you, because they invite you into that awe and wonder into your life, and to praise our Creator. Later in this week, we're going to be looking at a gospel passage from Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 to 33. And that's where we see our Lord Jesus walking on water, and thus displaying His lordship over creation. And that's Jesus, the man who could answer all the questions that Job could not. Until then, God's peace to you.